So one of the biggest issues that we get asked about is cleaning up data, messy data, especially in the world of e-commerce, where you get a variety of different opt-ins and applications and then sales, and you have various streams of data coming in, especially for the same person. It's really hard to keep on top of reality, and especially if you want to do an effective marketing campaign, you need to have accurate phone numbers, you need to have accurate first names, you need to have accurate emails. So today we're going to explore the use of AI on that particular issue. In other words, we're going to try and clean up our data using ChatGPT. If you haven't done so already, do subscribe to the channel now, and don't forget to ring that bell icon so that every time we post something new, you'll be notified. Without any further ado, let's get stuck. Okay, so in our typical fashion, let's see how this works. I'm going to clean up my existing data now so that we simulate a scenario where we just have a client where we know roughly their first name and last name. We have some opt-ins for that client, like where they opted in into various different things, but they've gave us kind of spotty data. We're not really sure which phone number is the correct one, what's the right email, what's the right surname. And again, we're just dealing with a few examples here, but you can imagine that for any given person, you might have way more than this and way more dirtier. We also have some sales data. So sales, generally speaking, it's a source of more accurate data because paying clients will generally provide you with real data, and because they don't want to mess around. So the system should, in theory, value this data over opt-ins or applications or anything else because people have paid. Therefore, they're way more likely to provide us with real data. So let's see how this works. I'm just going to jump into clients. I'm going to check AI cleanup, and let's see what happens. It takes a few seconds. And here we go. We have a first name, we have a last name, we have an email, and we have a phone. Let's check this out. So I've set it up in such a way that we also get an explanation as to why, what it has chosen for the first name, last name, email, and phone. So the first name, Alex, is chosen over O and chosen over the blank options because it looks more like a real name. Length and complexity suggests that it's a real last name. This email is chosen over this one, an exam as a domain seems like a business or professional email, which increases credibility. The local part, there you go. That's such an interesting catch, right? The local part, Alex, is also consistent with the chosen first name. That's very good. That's almost what a human would think to choose. This number is selected because it appears twice in the data set, suggested it might be repeated, and increases the probability compared to the single occurrence of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 1. So that's roughly how the system works. Let's take a look at the database, and in our typical fashion, we'll also take a look at the automation that sits behind this thing. Also, shameless plug, if you want to get the template for the automation for Make, it's going to be featured down in the description below, so feel free to check that out. Let's take a look at the database. All right, so the database really is nothing special in our case. We just have a few basic text fields. I have my name in general, just a text field. There's a hidden field here, which is the record ID. Very typical. We need to show those record IDs, especially in Airtable, so that we can use them later on in the automation. But yeah, it's a nice thing to add. Again, just a formula field, record ID, nothing to call home about. Then we have a linked field to the opt-ins because somehow you will want to link it. I don't know how this might happen in the real world, but in my case, they are linked. Back in clients, I have a link to sales, just the sales record. There is an AI cleanup, which is our trigger, just a checkbox. Then a long text field for the AI cleanup result. First name, last name, email, and phone. Again, just text fields, nothing crazy. In my opt-ins table, I have my little leftmost field, which is like our label. Again, just a simple concatenation, opt-in, space, pipe, space, and then the client name, link to the client, a lookup of the record ID from the client, which is really important, again, for automation purposes. And then we have the first name, last name, email, and phone. Again, just text fields, nothing crazy there. So then we also have our sales table. Again, same thing, concatenate, sale, space, pipe, space, and then just the first name, link to the client, record ID from the client, the product that they bought, first name, last name, email, and then their phone. Let's now take a look at how the make scenario is set up briefly. If you want to see the full thing, if you want to get the full template, there's a link down below. Shameless plug number 2. So yeah, let's take a look. Okay, so this is our make scenario. Nothing crazy, actually. Again, as we have seen, we need to trigger this process through clients. So as soon as the client record comes in, we get that client record, and then the mission here essentially is to compile the data from the different places that it might exist. For instance, we search opt-ins, we compile that text. We search sales, we compile that text. If we had applications, for instance, all we had to do essentially would be just to copy these 2 modules, bring them over here, and then just add it to the pile of data that we give to ChatGPT over in this little module that basically has a very nicely crafted prompt, which takes a look at the data and simply produces the right results while explaining them as well. And then finally, all we are doing here is just updating Airtable by parsing, by splitting the stuff that OpenAI gives us, ChatGPT gives us, and just putting it nicely in the right fields inside of clients. That's basically it. I've included this little top option here because I wanted to showcase how you can scale the system in the sense that you can search through opt-ins and create that little bundle of data, but then, you know, you can actually add more to it and kind of like create a little daisy chain of data silos, compile them. But yeah, that's basically it in a nutshell. I really hope you liked this video. Let me know if you want to see more of this kind of thing. If you have any interesting ideas that you would like me to explore, put them down in the comments. I always answer pretty much every comment as quickly as I can. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.